From WNIJ Studios on the campus of Northern Illinois University, this is Sessions from Studio A. I'm Spencer Tritt. The Not That Late Show is Chicago's own late-night talk and comedy show, and you can't have a late-night talk show without a great house band. Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch are that band. In this hour, we'll hear them recorded live in WNIJ's Studio A with a genre-blending set featuring loads of improv. We'll also talk with band members about their music, keeping on their toes with all the improvisation, and about what it's like being the house band on the Not That Late Show. Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch coming up this hour on a brand new Sessions from Studio A. Welcome to Sessions from Studio A. I'm Spencer Tritt. When guitarist Mich Shirey was young, his dream was to play in the Saturday Night Live house band. So when the opportunity came up to play for a new late show in Chicago, he jumped right at the chance. His band, Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, now plays regularly with Chicago's own late-night comedy and talk show called The Not That Late Show. Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch join us this hour to tell us about the show, and we'll hear their original music, recorded live here in WNIJ's Studio A. Let's get right into it, and this might be one of our best song titles we've had all year as well. This is Sears Tower of Power by Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, recorded live on Sessions from Studio A. This is Sessions from Studio A, and you just heard Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch playing live here in the studio with us, and I'm joined by the band. Thanks so much for coming out to DeKalb, everyone, and playing in Studio A for us today.
Absolutely, thanks for having us.
That was an awesome set. This is kind of a cool, unique session for us because you guys are actually the house band for a late show in Chicago. This is super cool. So I want to start off talking a little bit about this. It's actually called the Not That Late Show, and you guys are their house band, kind of like not dissimilar to the Roots or something at the in the Tonight Show. Tell us a little bit about this late show that's going on and how you guys got involved with it.
Well, I've had that question a lot, and truly it was just sending an email. I just happened to see a reel come up, and I was like, wait a minute, Chicago has like a late night talk show. And so then I immediately just like went through their entire thing just to see if they had a band yet. And they hadn't. They'd just been using like clips of audio. So I just emailed the hosts, and honestly, like since I was a kid, I always wanted to be the guitar player for SNL, like super, super bad. And so this was like, it really scratched that itch. And I was really excited that we were able to do it. And since we've joined, we've been able to move from like a relatively small theater to the next one. And then we've even done like a few bigger venues and like trying out other spots in the city. And it's starting to, the ball is definitely starting to roll now.
Wow. So you guys were a band first though before the show, and then you found out about the show?
No, it was just me being like, I can get a band together.
Okay, yeah.
And then I reached out to Tori because I had worked with him a lot and asked if he knew any like great drummers that'd be a great fit, and he recommended Joey right away. Yeah,
so we're joined here with Tori Lopez on bass, Joey Butler on drums.
Howdy.
Let's introduce the rest of the band too that couldn't join us for the interview.
So on keys we had Max McGathy, and for our saxophone today we had Evan Montgomery.
Yeah, I just want to know more about this show. So it's a talk show.
Yeah, it's almost the exact same format, just with a few small tweaks. So we like play the host on. There's a monologue. There's a guest. We've had a lot of great high profile guests in the past few months. I want to say we've had like some of my favorites personally. Being a comic book nerd, we had Eve L. Ewing, who currently writes like a couple of runs on X-Men.
Oh, cool.
Which is like super exciting. And then we've also had like a lot of local politicians like aldermen, our state representatives.
Dilla, the Chicago historian, was probably one of my personal favorites.
That's right. I think we played 2 of his, didn't we? But yeah, he was super solid. And but then we also have the cast will do kind of their own monologue thing. with each segment. So we'll play them on, and typically they, are a character, or they'll come out and talk about something in the news, like small, like 4 or 5 minute segments. And then we have a musical guest, and
cool.
Lately we've been very lucky to be invited to back up the musical guest, just like the Roots,
neat.
which is like arguably one of the funnest things we get to do. Just like hearing a song for the first time and being like, all right, let's see if it works.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a really great show, and I definitely recommend if you're looking for something very Chicago specific that you'll understand all the jokes and have a great time and get a little education on what's going on too. Is a great show.
Awesome. That's the Not That Late Show, and you mentioned you're changing. You're doing it in venues, kind of moving around. So is this recorded live? Can people come and see it live?
Yes, yeah. So it's a live show, and they also do like a live stream on Twitch. But yeah, it's a live show at the Lincoln Lodge on Milwaukee Avenue, and then we're moving around. But for right now, we're going to be at the Lincoln Lodge until the end of the year. Then we take a month off in December, and then in January we'll be starting on Thursdays.
And how can people go to one of these and check this out? Do they have to get tickets? Is there a website? How can people go see the Not That Late Show?
I think the best way to find your way there is either just walking in, going to the Lincoln Lodge, going to the Lincoln Lodge website to buy tickets in advance, or following the Not That Late Show on Instagram is another great way to keep up with what's going on.
Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch with that original song, A Familiar Place, recorded live in WNIJ's Studio A. They are the house band for the Not That Late Show in Chicago, and we're hearing Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch recorded live here in Studio A this hour and talking with the band. You can find more about the Not That Late Show on Instagram at NTL Show. They also have a website, ntlshow.com. And you can also follow guitarist Mich Shirey on his Instagram page. That's Mich Makes, spelled M-I-C-H, Makes. You're listening to Sessions from Studio A. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more from their live recording in Studio A and more from our conversation with Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch this hour on Sessions from Studio A. This is Sessions from Studio A. Let's get right back into our recording with Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, house band for the Not That Late Show in Chicago, and joining us for live recordings in Studio A and telling us a little bit about their music. You can also find behind-the-scenes video from their performance on WNIJ.org, posted under the Music tab, along with this full session. Let's get right back into it. This next one is called Skipping Stones. It's Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, recorded live on Sessions from Studio A. Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, recorded live in WNIJ's Studio A. Thanks so much for joining us here on Sessions from Studio A. And we're joined with Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch. We were talking before a little bit about the Not That Late Show, and I was curious a little bit about your musical background with all the improv going on today. Do you have a jazz background, a theater background? Tell us a little bit about your journey as a musician and guitarist.
Oh, I'll try and keep it super short because I could talk about it forever. But I like to say that I'm a jazz fan that plays jazz-ish, but I don't have like a really solid jazz background. But so I started playing guitar when I was 12, and like my first job was like busking in Omaha. So that's like how I would like get gas money and like phone cards and stuff. But then I did go to Columbia College, Chicago, and I feel like that helped me like round out a lot of the things that I had missed. So I'm able to like hang and like kind of understand things from the jazz perspective. But like, actually I had this conversation with Max the other day, our keyboard player, that like I feel like musicians will be the first to tell you that they don't play jazz, but like everyone else is like, no, that's jazz, right?
Well, I'd say style-wise, I heard a lot of rock and blues in your sounds too.
Yeah, that was definitely like coming up as like a teenager. I was like super into Stevie Ray Vaughan, so like got to get the Stratocaster, got to get the crunchy sound, but then also like have some interesting chord changes in there.
Your mother also played John Mayer while you were in the womb. I'm surprised you didn't start there.
I was trying to leave that out, but yeah, no, I definitely, the John Mayer licks are burned into my fingers, and I cannot escape them no matter what I do. I play in the wintertime, I play this jazz trio, Guitar for Giraldi, and we play all the Charlie Brown Christmas music, but I feel like that... I don't doubt that there's not a John Mayer lick coming out in one of those songs at some point.
Well, you're involved in a lot of different projects too. I saw you release music solo under your name, just Mick also, and that's kind of like more of a poppy, indie rock kind of style too. So that's super cool. That's just under your name there. That one, MICH, and. Tons of different styles and influences. It's cool to hear kind of blending in. I'm curious with you guys, what's that like when Mick brings that idea and, you've got to play that show tonight. What's it like kind of spontaneously writing that song before the shows?
I haven't heard this answer yet.
I stress about it way less than I used to. I used to try and get as much time before I showed up to the show to like write an interesting part, but it would never work because then we would end up doing something completely differently than what his demo was in the first place. So now I prepare as little as possible and just kind of try to relax, and whatever we play ends up being good.
No, I agree. I think it's fun. I think our expectation was at first that we would be this super tight production, but at the end of the day, it's a comedy show, and a lot of what I think makes the comedy good is the response with the audience, and so then we get to participate in that because we're just jamming through something in very close quarters where there's somebody might be sitting like right next to Tori with a drink, and so we're kind of responding to them, I think, as we're working out the song and seeing what works. So it's a pretty quick way to write because you're not in your head the entire time.
Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch recorded live in WNIJ's Studio A. They are the house band for the Not That Late Show, Chicago's own late-night talk show that happens once a month at the Lincoln Lodge in Chicago. You can find more info about that on their website, ntlshow.com. They're taking a break for December, but they will be back in January. You can get tickets to see the show over on their websites. Also find more on Instagram, ntlshow. And also follow guitarist Mich Shirey on his page, Mick Makes, on Instagram. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more music here on Sessions from Studio A. Welcome back to Sessions from Studio A on WNIJ. And our unique session this week, we're joined by Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, house band for Chicago's own live late-night talk show, The Not That Late Show. We're hearing original recordings from the band recorded in WNIJ's Studio A, and you can check out behind-the-scenes video on our website as well. Let's get right back into the music. It's Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch recorded live this hour on Sessions from Studio A. This is Sessions from Studio A. You just heard Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, recorded live in Studio A. I'm Spencer Tritz, and I am joined here with the band. So do you guys play outside of the Not That Late show? Do you ever just play as, the Nightwatch out and about? Or is it strictly like this project is intertwined with the show?
We definitely play out fairly regularly. We've got like a quarterly thing going on at the Lemon where we will do a cover set where we're backing up a vocalist, and I think we've done so far Amy Winehouse and a Dua Lipa set. And we've had incredible Chicago artist Kasha performing with us for both of those. And then we'll also do like instrumental sets. We just played at Dorian's through the record shop last month. So yeah, we're definitely playing out at least every 2 to 3 months outside of the show as well.
And what about any recordings? Are you doing any recordings, or are there plans to release the Nightwatch album someday?
Absolutely. I mean, the dream is maybe using some of the audio that we have here and releasing it as a live record next year.
Awesome. That would be sweet. Would love that. What are some upcoming plans for the band as we get into winter here? What's on the horizon for the band?
Off for December, but then in 2026, we're going to hit the ground running really hard and get back to it every third Thursday starting in January. The goal being to explore different theaters and then also release our record. And I'd like to play quite a few more dates just as this unit and kind of exploring all the other venues in the city. I will say that's been a really exciting thing about this show is like I feel like every year we've gotten some new level of attention, which has been great. We recently just did a feature in Block Club Chicago, which was great, and that's really helped draw attention. And I cannot think of the theater that we just played.
Big theater that we just played? The Steppenwolf? The
Steppenwolf Theater, yeah. We did like a one-off show at the Steppenwolf Theater, and it was completely sold out, and we're hoping to keep going back there and develop a relationship there too. But to go from starting in a tiny cabaret theater under the train tracks and then be able to like move with this show to bigger and better things has been really great.
Fantastic. That's super cool. Definitely recommend people get out and check it out. I mean, it sounds like it's a big production too. We were talking in the studio, and you were mentioning, there's writers' meetings. It's not like they just throw this together,
right,
willy-nilly. It sounds like it's a cool production. So people can find out more about the show on Instagram, the Not That Late Show, on streaming on Twitch as well. What about the band? Is there a way people can follow the Nightwatch? Are you guys on any of the socials or anywhere? Where can people find more about the band?
Yeah, you can find the more. I can't talk today.
You can find the more about the band.
You can find the more about it too. At on my Instagram at Mich Makes MICHMAKES. I'm posting pretty much anything. 9 times out of 10, if I'm posting about a gig, it's with Joey and Tori on it, and then that's where we'll inevitably put out more info about our album releases and stuff.
Fantastic. Well, Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch, thanks so much for coming out again to Studio A, guys. Fantastic set. Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch on Sessions from Studio A. That is a wrap for this week's show. Thank you so much to the band for playing for us here in Studio A, and a big thanks to you for listening in this hour. Mich Shirey and the Nightwatch is the house band for the Not That Late Show, a monthly late-night talk show happening in Chicago. You can find more info about that on their website, ntlshow.com, and Instagram at ntlshow. Also follow Mich Shirey on Instagram at michmakes, spelled M-I-C-H. You can find a behind-the-scenes video from this session and the full show on WNIJ.org in our show archive. Sessions from Studio A is produced at WNIJ Studios on the campus of Northern Illinois University. Producers are yours truly, along with Mike Lundgren. Production interns are Megan Ralt and Oliver Wolf. I'm Spencer Tritz. Thanks so much for joining us this week, and I'll see you next time on another edition of Sessions from Studio A.